Hey, it's me again, and welcome back to Minecraft Dimensions. Now, in this episode, we're going to get started with bee mutations. This might take a little bit of a while, so there might be a little bit of progress being made in other episodes as we go along here. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, in order to get started, you're going to need a forest and meadow in order to make the common. So, here we go. We don't have a good meadows, so it doesn't really necessarily matter how we go about doing that. But we're just going to take this meadows and forest bee and combine them together in these apiary. And this should start the process of mutations. We want a common drone out of this, and the best way to go about doing this is with frames. You want frames to be able to actually get this to work a little bit faster, and there's one set of frames specifically that we're going to want, which is the chocolate frame. Oh, you need an impregnated frame. Let's grab some wood. We got plenty. What was it? Is it seed oil? It is. So we gotta put you into this one, take out all of this, grab our impregnated casings, and let's make some impregnated sticks. Okay, that's enough for one, and we're gonna need to make as much as we possibly can for here, but it seems like we're gonna need to go back into the forest to get some chocolate. And you know what, while I travel, I'll kind of talk about why we want to do this. So why go into bees? What bees can do is it allows you to get to resource generation. You know, if you've ever seen or played with a mod called Mystical Agriculture, it's kind of the exact same thing, but with bees, and it's a little bit more difficult to set up, I think, but once you get there, you are going to be getting some good resources out of it. First, I want to start with getting imperial and industrial bees in this whole mutation thing. And what they'll let you do is get royal jelly and pollen clusters, and those are for getting the alvearies, which is the ultimate beehive. I want to get to those, and then we can start the whole breeding process in order to get some resource generation. All right, let's get one of these, and maybe we'll set up a whole farm thing. That did not break. Oh, there we go. Yep, and all these guys drop, and not a single other thing. We struggling? Nothing's moving. Oh, okay, here we go. All right. Did anything drop yet? No. If I do it again. Oh, here we go. Oh. Okay, that was a lot. All right, but you did not need to be involved in this. Goodbye. But then, like, it all disappeared. What's all this about, huh? All right, let's see if we can just harvest some chocolate then. We're not gonna need a ton. Can you just left click on these? You can, but that's not really necessary, I guess. So I guess I can just grab these, and then we'll make our own little special chocolate farm. Let's not go that way. I do not want to deal with fire things. I just don't want to deal with it. It's never a good time. I don't know how many I'm gonna grab. I'm gonna try to grab enough. And you know what? I have plenty of bones, right? Can you please give me a jungle sapling? Did we get one? We did get one. I think I'm just going to grow my own and put a bunch of bone meal on it. I feel like it's gonna be faster than just running around here collecting chocolate. All right, so let's just fill this thing up. This should make frames that makes the whole entire bee process a little bit faster. You make a ton of drones, but unfortunately you kind of only have as many queens as you can get, and you never make more queens. You can make more drones, but you can't make more queens. Like, I can't have a bunch of commons being automated and just pumping out a bunch of princesses. It doesn't work that way. You can only pump out a bunch of drones, but you're gonna have to go and make the common princesses with more of the forest meadow bees that you can find in the wild. All right, so we got a bunch of cocoa beans, and we should by now have these impregnated casings done, or impregnated sticks done. Not a lot. What are you short on? The seed oil? Oh, I guess the seed oil. Ooh, I do not have a lot of seeds, I guess. All right, so let's make these chocolate frames. So I'll show you what these do. Production 1.5, lifespan 0.75. So what it does is it makes the bees last not as long as they normally would, which allows the mutation process to really shine, because you don't want the bees to be around for very long when you're trying to get the mutations. You're trying to get them through as soon as possible. And that's what these chocolate frames are gonna do. And I guess that means I don't have a lot of seeds, so I wonder if these canola seeds might be able to be turned into seed oil. I don't know. Let's see. We got plenty. Throw these in here. Are you gonna make what I want? Seed oil? Seed oil. All right. So we found a use for these canola seeds. All right. Now let's throw these little chocolate frames into the forest and meadow drone hive, which is this one right here. And this is why it's good to have the apiary. Oh, I heard some innervation. Give me the innervation. Where? 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 I heard you. Where? Was it a lie? It was a lie. Okay, so this should make this go a little bit quicker, but you know what else helps is having a little bit of more help. So I've got a few more of these guys all stopped up. So now here we have a meadows. So do I need meadows and forests? No. I would actually rather all of these guys be turned into common drones because that's much more preferable and it's much more useful for them. And if anything, I got their worth out of them. So we're going to need as much common drones as we can possibly get here. And that's going to be my mission, is to work on turning all of these guys into common drones. And hopefully some of these guys will turn out the way that I want. It doesn't take horribly too much long. And so we did fail here. Now I wonder if I can see some interesting stats with these. On both of them, they have the inactive trait of the opposite one. Okay, so we'll let those guys cook again. Now they shouldn't take horribly too long. And it does seem like those frames last a pretty good amount of time. I know the normal frames that I was using before don't really last very long, but if these chocolate frames last for a long time, that'd be nice, because these are kind of time consuming to get all this, because each stick is a log, you know, so that's not a super convenient way of improving our bees, but if it lasts a while, then it is worth it. I'm gonna be back now that you've kind of seen that whole process. I'm gonna return once we get a common drone of pure descent, and in between I might work on another episode, and if I do, then that means some time might pass before we come back. So if things are a little different since you last seen them, that's probably going to be why. Really right when I press record. All right, thank you. Why am I in the creative world right now? Well, I didn't really give a good explanation of what I'm actually doing here. So bees, how does this whole crossbreeding process work? Well, first, let's talk about how forestry decides what the next generation is going to be. So genetics determines what the offspring is going to be. If I were to take this Meadows Princess and put into here, I see that there's an active and inactive trait. If I were to combine this Meadows Princess and this Meadows Drone, one of the traits from the princess and one of the traits from the Meadows drone will be picked as the active and the inactive for the princess and the Meadows drones that it produces. It chooses different ones each time, so you're not going to get the same exact ones every single time unless the active and inactive is the same for both the princess and the drone. Sometimes you're going to be breeding bees of the meadow and forest together to get a common, because what you want to have happen is there's a 15% chance that one of these traits for the drone or princess from the offspring becomes a common when you breed them together. So you see how this Meadows Princess has the active trait of a meadows and an inactive trait of a forest. So this is an example of if I were trying to make a mutation from this would be a failure, because I would want one of these to actually not be either meadow or forest. I would want it to be common. Now, how do you get those? Well, you breed them in the apiaries. You don't want them to be in the bee house, because the bee house won't mutate the bees. It's going to choose just between the two parents without any chance of mutation. If I wanted to no longer have any more mutations happen, and I want to keep one of the traits that I have, like let's say in this, I want to keep this common. Well, the best way to do that is to take this princess and then have it put in the bee house and hope that in its offspring, the common will be chosen again for the drone and the princess, which will then increase the chance in the future for it to become a pure breed for both the drone and princess. So that's kind of how this works. Hopefully I covered everything. I tried my best here, you know, I tried my best. That is how this whole process works. All right, so some time has passed and our bees have begun to breed and make some new kinds of bees. Now, I didn't just get some commons. Some of these are still working, like this one. So this is a pure cultivated queen, and what this one came from is it actually came from a forest drone and a meadow queen combined together, and then somewhere mutated one of the genes into a common drone, and then another generation later, this common drone combined together with either a forest and a meadow to make a cultivated queen. And that kind of just, it kept happening and happening until it became a purebred cultivated queen. So now, whenever this does its thing, it's going to continue giving me more and more cultivated drones, and these are going to be needed for our goal. So is this one, okay, so this one's common and noble, which I believe what happened there is basically the same thing as what happened here. You get nobles by combining a common and a cultivated, so hopefully we can keep that one going, because that's very deep into the whole process that we're going for. I thought I was just going to get a bunch of common stuff, but apparently the mutations are going very well, especially with these chocolate frames. These are making the bees go really quick. Oh, and here we go. Is this pure? You're pure. You're not pure. Are you pure? You're pure. Let's put these into a bee house. And we could just throw it anywhere, really. And now we have a common princess and a common drone breeding here. Now, I'm gonna let some generations go by because I want to get a bunch of common drones just like how we stacked up on getting meadow and forests. And let's try to get as many commons as we possibly can here. So I would like to get another pure. But if cultivated is what we can do, then cultivated is what we can do. So far, we have 3 pure commons, 1 pure cultivated, and now we're almost to 1 pure noble. And then we should be ready for another break. We'll leave and come back once some time has passed and we've gotten some more common drones, some more cultivated drones, and then we'll begin the progress trying to get to the imperial and industrious bees. I'm trying to get 2 of each, try to get a good production going for royal jelly and pollen clusters, which is what we need to make alveary. So I'll be right back once some time has passed for that. So I have 3 cultivated drones, purely bred, or cultivated queens. And then over here, I got 3 common drone, oh my goodness, 3 common queens purebred, and then 1 noble queen purebred, which I got that one from the, I think it was a common and noble hybrid. I was able to get it to a pure breed of noble. I've got a bunch of other bees going right now, and I'm gonna try to get 3 more common and cultivated pure breeds. And then what I'm gonna do, once we've gotten to that point, well, I'll come back and I'll show you the next step, which is to make noble bees, which we have 1 of, and diligent bees, which we don't have yet, but we are going to work towards that. And the way you get both of those is the same way. You breed common and cultivated bees together, and you have a chance to get either the noble bee or the diligent bee. All right, so I do now have 3 of each, and we're going to begin the process of trying to get to the diligent and noble bees. We already have 1 noble, but I think I want to get 3 of each, or at least that's kind of my goal here. I'm trying to be a little bit more organized here. So I'm going to have this line be cultivated. This line will be the common ones. Okay, now these are going to go. Hopefully I can get 3 of each. That's kind of my goal. All right, just a quick update. We got 2 more diligence at the same time, which is kind of awesome. We're going to let these guys go. And we do have 3 nobles now. We just need 1 more diligent, and then we can start trying to do the next step. Once I get even more pure ones, kind of the same thing with what we did with the cultivated and the commons. We want to get to those pure breeds first, and then we can start moving on to getting them a little bit more further down the line. All right, so I did end up finishing getting 3 of each. Well, actually, we got 4 nobles and 3 diligents. And also, while I was working on these, I got a unweary diligent hybrid and a majestic something hybrid. And these 2 are next up on our list. So I am going to set up something for these guys, but I did end up making a mistake. And you see this growing princess? I believe what happened is I put a forest drone and it was either noble or common drone together, and it mutated into the growing princess when I was trying to get the noble princess. So I'm going to try to rectify that mistake in just a second when I try to get this unweary and majestic princess going. But for now, let's get our princesses into the mutation process. Now, I believe I have a noble that's actually really good. So we want our fast working ones. Hopefully we have 3. So diligent princess and the fast working drones. Now, it doesn't matter which of these we give because we're going to end up using all of our fast workers. So I've kind of been messing it up a little bit. I will not lie to you. I've kind of just been using these. But I only need these for the mutations, but I need to be using these bee houses once I actually get the mutations. Yeah, here's an unweary diligent, and then I have a majestic. This is a majestic noble. This is also going to be a hybrid of majestic and noble. Which one's better? Always got to make sure you got the better drones going. That's a fast worker. Let's keep the fast worker. So I've been messing up putting these guys back into the apiaries. And that's how I got this growing princess, which it's not bad to get one, but that's not what I'm trying to go for here. Let's set this up. Oh, right over here is not too bad. Just gotta deal with this guy over here. And don't go in the water, thank you. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this unweary princess in here, and I'm gonna put this unweary drone in here. And what's gonna happen is, there's going to be a 0% chance that there will be any more mutations. And instead what's going to happen is it's going to keep choosing between the unweary and diligent genes. And we're going to keep having this guy go through more and more and more until we get pure unweary queen and a pure unweary drone. Same thing here. We're going to have this majestic princess go in with the hybrid. Hopefully we're going to be able to end up with a pure majestic queen. You know, having these guys, I don't know how I ended up with these. Probably because I was using the apiaries when I shouldn't have, but it ended up working out in the end, I guess, to get those guys a little bit early. But now we're gonna try to use it a little bit smarter here. With that being said, I want to run an experiment where I just throw a meadows and forest and meadow queen into an apiary and just letting it go and see what happens. Why? I don't know, but the idea is it's gonna keep on mutating over and over and over again. Who knows? It's gonna stonewall eventually, but we're gonna keep getting more and more mutations going. I don't know. I thought it'd be an interesting little experiment to do. And you know, I might as well put on a sign on those just to make sure we know not to touch them, let them go and see what we get at the end of that line. We'll have you face this way. You are experiment 1, experiment 2. I'm gonna keep going here until I get 3. Oh, ancient. Whoa, what? Huh? What? Ancient? That's a bit of a a bit of an oopsie. Oh, I made a mistake. I made a big mistake. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I was supposed to. Oh no. Okay, are you still pure? Are you still pure? Please tell me. Oh no. Oh, I messed up big time. So I was supposed to throw them together with cultivateds. Instead, I just threw the nobles and diligence together without thinking at all whatsoever. You know what I could do? I can just throw in cultivated drones. Because here's the thing. As long as it's a diligent noble hybrid, if I breed it with the cultivated, there's still a chance that I'll actually get majestic and unweary. So it's not actually that bad. So long as none of the queens have the ancient type, we're actually fine. It's not the end of the world. We got 3 more majestics and 3 more unwearies. And also during the process, I got a little bit impatient because I ended up putting them into the alvearies with the chocolate frames to make them go a little bit quicker. And I ended up getting an imperial drone. And I believe this queen, yeah, this majestic queen is a majestic imperial hybrid. So what's the next bee? Well, you know, I kind of spoiled it a little bit. It's the imperial and industrial bees. That's what's up next. So to get to the imperial bee, you need to breed a majestic bee and a noble bee. And then in order to get the, what was it? Industrious drone, it is going to be diligent and unweary. Let's see, do we have a good stack of these on any of these? All right, here we got 8. Now we can begin trying to make imperial and industrial bees. So let's put you, I mean, you already had your thing going. We'll have these guys go on the left side, and then we'll have these guys going on the right side. So on the left side is the imperial, on the right side will be the industrious. And then, to finish it all off, once we get these bees finished, and we have 3 of each, we can begin the process of trying to make alvearies. Once I get some imperial and industrious drones as a pure breed, I'll try to skip through all of the process to get immediately into the imperial and industrious, straight from meadows and forests. And that's why we have this whole setup. Now I can skip to majestic, unweary, diligent, noble, whenever I want. So that's the whole point of trying to keep a stockpile. If I ever need to breed older drones together with newer princesses, I can actually end up doing that with my stockpile. So I will be back once this has finished, And then we can finally begin making the alvearies. All right, so the imperial and industrial bees are done. We got 3 of each. 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. These are all the imperials. And then over here, we have all of the industrious. And I've kind of just having them sit in these bee houses for a little bit as I've been working on the other ones to try to get them to pure genes. So we did get some royal jelly and some pollen clusters. Now, this is exactly the reason why I wanted these bees, and that's what we're going to start working on next. Now, this is the Forester's Manual. Yeah, I believe you spawn in with the game because I didn't make it. But in case you need to craft it for any reason, you could take a butterfly, a sapling, probably from forestry, and then honey. Any of those 3s, you put them together, you'll get the manual. So pretty easy to make. We're going to look for alveary. So alveary. And I have seen the bees produce up to 10 times more honey in an alveary than an apiary. To create this massive contraption, you'll need to construct around 27 of these alveary blocks. Each one is very costly. So this is the scented paneling, and you need 8 scented paneling and impregnated casing for the alveary block, and then you need 27 alveary blocks. This means making an alveary is something that takes many days of hard graft, but is well worth the effort. So 8 times 27 is how many royal jelly and pollen clusters I need. Thankfully, I have a lot of beeswax. This is just gonna be wood and then honey. I've been collecting the combs and putting them into the centrifuge, and I've been putting in these combs called the dripping comb. Which ones make it? Let's see. So noble, majestic, and imperial are dropping the dripping combs, and these guys will make things called honeydew. Take a honeydew, throw it into a squeezer, and you get honey. We actually can do quite a bit of that. So I'm gonna throw this in. Hopefully it's enough. If not that big of a deal. This is still going to take so much time. Okay, so we need another carpenter. That's a carpenter, and then we need another squeezer probably. It's gonna be a bit ugly, but we'll figure that out eventually. Squeezer, carpenter, throw the honeydew in you, and do the same thing that we had hooked up over there. So you're going to extract, and then you will insert. And that should get that started. Is it fill? Oh, there we go. Now it's filling up. I guess this is going to take some time as well, because this is so much. It's so much. You know what? I wonder, so the bee house gives you more products than the alveary, but what if I were to make the impregnated frames? I would be willing to bet that these are better. Using an apiary with these impregnated frames has got to be better. Each one gives you double the production. Hopefully this will greatly improve the production of these guys, because this is going to take absolutely forever. Let's see how much we have. So we can make like 1 block. Is that gonna work? Do I have everything that you wanted? Oh yeah, the beeswax. We have probably thousands. We have 1,620 actually. So we have enough. So now we can get that started. So it's this with an impregnated casing. Actually, instead of looking it up, I'll just do this. There we go. 1 alveary. Things will go quicker in the future, I guess. So I'll let these guys go. We'll see. All right. So it's day 5 of doing bees. And finally, after all this time, I have the alveary. Apparently, I had more than I thought. But okay, so we have the 27 alveary blocks that we need to make the multi-block. Now, slabs of wood, that's enough. We only need 9. So that means we might be ready to go. Now, let me show you just how much went into this. Every one of these apiaries with a chest over them has the industrious and imperial bees in them. And then that plus like 7 hours of working. So let's make the one single alveary, right? Right, guys? Let's make this one thing that all that effort took. Let's put this right here. I like this area. Man, I keep encroaching upon my Botania flowers. This won't be in the way of that. So we just need to do a 3x3 area of just these alveary blocks. Oh my goodness, this took so much work. The multi-block is too small. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. All right? I'm still in the process of making it. I don't know what you want from me, buddy. And then, yes, 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 yes! If you can't tell, I'm a little bit excited. It's done. It's done. I have some of these guys all saved up in my inventory because I kept making more. There's more of them over here, by the way. Also trying to get these guys to imperial and industrious. I want to crank these bad boys out, and the best way to do it is to put the imperial princess and drone in here to get this started. And finally, 5 days. This took 5 days, and I can only put one in. I think from now on, I'm going to be doing this as I do other things. Like, for example, once I get into Divine RPG, which is going to be in the next episode, I will be doing this on the side. So the resource generating bees, why don't we take a look? So silver cone, you put it in the centrifuge, and then you get silver grains. Put 4 silver grains together, you get pulverized silver. Put pulverized silver into a furnace, you get a silver ingot. So that's kind of going to be the process for all of the materials that we'll be needing, which means that once I get those guys set up, I actually won't have a need doing any mining trips. So that is enough for this episode. So if you enjoyed, let me know in the comments below. If there's a game that you want to see me play, let me know and I might just give it a go. And hey, thank you so much for watching. See ya!